You know, it's always been my philosophy when I'm out in the woods and I'm going to start a fire is to harvest materials off of the landscape to help me do that. More often than not, the materials I reach for are birch bark or fat wood. But I recognize that they're not always going to be available to me. So in my backpack, I also could carry prepared fire starters. So in this video, we're going to be testing two commercially available ones from Hangar 51. And that is their fire strip roll and their waxwood. If you're interested in seeing how they perform, stay tuned. So the two products that Production Hangar 51 sent me for testing and review are the fire strip roll and the waxwood. And they do have other products available, ones that have been reviewed by other people on YouTube, one of which looks like it has a lot of potential. I don't have it, but it'd be nice to try it at some point in the future, and that is their fat rope. But these two products still do a good job for what they are. So let's just take a little look at them. First off is the fire strip roll. So the fire strip roll is a long roll of wax impregnated, heavy-duty construction type paper. And I'll rip a piece off here, and you can see it's just a heavy-duty paper. It does rip to expose some fine edges, which makes it easier to ignite with a cigarette lighter. I am going to try to do this with my ferrocerium rod today, and I will tell you that it will take a spark from a ferrocerium rod, but like birch bark, it can take a fair amount of preparation to get enough exposed edges to do that. So let me work on this for a second, then we'll demonstrate how this can be used with a ferrocerium rod. Alright, so I'll start by taking my belt knife out. Like birch bark, if you fluff it a little bit, and get a nice little bit of a fluffing going on it. I don't know if fluffing is the right word, but get it to produce some surface area that can catch the spark. It'll make it a lot easier. I have a little bit going there. One way is with the edge of your knife, the other way is to rip it up as much as reasonably can to get a lot of exposed area. So we're going to put those two together, see if we can't get this lit with the ferrocerium rod. Now, like using birch bark, this won't be what I would transfer into the fire. I would take another piece of it and use that. And here's what's kind of cool about using this stuff. Now what I'm going to do is fold it once, twice, and what effectively I've made is like a wick or a candle that will burn a lot longer and more sustained, so I can hold it underneath different points in the fire. Alright, let's see what I can't do with the ferrocerium rod without disturbing it too much. There we go. And then I could light this one, and then I can move this over to my fire to get my fire going. Alright, so that's the fire strip roll, and there's an awful lot of uses for this that I haven't even dreamed up yet. I know that I'm sure people can suggest to me how other ways you might be able to use this. I have seen some inventive ways on YouTube, so if you have any, by all means put them in the show notes below. But let's put that aside so I can work with the other product. And the other product is the waxwood. Now, first thing I looked at it and thought, I wonder, it has a look, it has a feel like fat wood. Will it work like fat wood? So that's exactly what we're going to do today, is try it against some fat wood. So I'm going to use the back of my knife and start with the fat wood first. Scrape a little bit off. Get a few shavings going. That's all I want just for demonstration purposes. Dry my ferrocerium rod off. Plant the ferrocerium rod right over top of the shavings, and fat wood is amazing stuff. And of course I would light something from this, or if I had a bigger amount of it, I could then transfer it to that bigger amount and then put it in my fire. So you can see how well fat wood works. Well, what about the waxwood? Let's try that. We'll do exactly the same thing. It even looks like fat wood when you do this. Alright. See how it takes. Okay, I'd say that's pretty impressive. To me, this is almost like having commercially made fat wood. So if you're having trouble, like I often do here in Nova Scotia, finding fat wood, I can find it. It's just not as available as I think other people find it in their areas. But if you're having trouble finding fat wood, or you'd like to have some commercially available wood that you can use, or a commercially available fire starter that you can use to light your fire, this is not a bad option. All right, let's close this video up. Okay, so I recognize that not everybody wants to purchase commercially made fire starters to have in their fire kit. Quite often you can get by with ones that are homemade, and I do that quite often. I have a number of homemade fire starters that I'll use. But it's nice to know that you can purchase a product that you can put in your fire kit that you never have to give any thought to, but it's there when you need it. So if you're looking for an option like that, this is something that you may want to look at. So I'm going to put the notes or the links in the show notes below where you can purchase both the fire strip roll as well as the wax wood and the other products that they have available on their website. Alright, that's all I have for you today, but until next time, get out and explore, take that path less traveled. It'll make all the difference. Bye for now.